Welcome back. I'm now joined by Zach Aaron in studio for this week's volleyball report.
Well, Chris, this week didn't go quite as planned for the Pioneers as they lost all 4 of their matches at the Georgetown Boneyard Brawl in Georgetown, Kentucky. Unfortunately, on top of that, they didn't even win a single set over the weekend. They lost to number 23 Davenport from Michigan and number 3 Bellevue from Nebraska on Friday, and number 9 Lindsey Wilson from Kentucky and Viterbo from Wisconsin on Saturday, all by scores of 3-0. The Pioneers were faced with the tough task of facing off against 4 of the top teams in the NAIA after a long bus ride, and they did manage to make a few of the sets very close but couldn't finish them out. But given the circumstances, it was very tough for them before they even stepped out on the court. Now, we did see a few placement changes during the tournament, possibly a signal of what's to come in the KIAC tournament. Olivia Fisher was moved from libero to an outside hitter and led the teams in kills with 8 against Davenport. Shiloh Simonson moved into Fisher's spot of libero for that match and collected 7 digs. Looking ahead, the Pioneers will finish off their season this Wednesday as they travel to another NCAA Division II school in Shippensburg. They will attempt to finish their season overall above 500. After that, they will have 2.5 weeks off before they go to Midway for the KIAC tournament. They're currently projected to be the 5th seed with an 8-3 conference record. Now, if they do manage to win the conference tournament, which is certainly not out of the question, they would then go on to Sioux City, Iowa for the national tournament, where they would be playing some teams of the same caliber or better of what they played over the weekend in Georgetown.
Now, Zach, you see there, this is the second time in 2 weeks we've seen the Pioneers come back and not be able to win a match, and this time they didn't even win a set over the weekend. What does this do for this team's psyche? I mean, these were all ranked teams, so tough opponents, but really what does this do? Because on the national level, the Pioneers do want to make a splash.
It's very tough for the women's team to come off a weekend like that where they lose every set in the tournament. But yeah, like you said, I'm sure Coach Bruno reminded them many times that these are ranked teams that have had a lot more games under their belt than the Pioneers. That doesn't take away from anything. I'm sure Coach Bruno was very happy with their effort, but they just couldn't pull it out. But looking ahead, I don't think it will end up making that much of a difference because they know that the important part is the KIAC tournament coming up. So I believe that that's really what's on their mind.
Now, Zach, you do mention the KIAC and national tournament. What do you see them being able to do in those tournaments?
I can very easily see the Pioneers winning the conference tournament. The Pioneers, their 5th seed doesn't really show too much about what they've been, how they've been performing this year. They just had a few bad breaks. But then after that, I could definitely see them going to nationals.
All right, thanks, Zach, for the report. The women's basketball team has really made a splash on the national scene the last 2 seasons. Johnie Freiwald now joins me to look at this past weekend for the team.
The Point Park Pioneer basketball team started off their season with a win. They took on the West Virginia Tech Golden Bears on Saturday. The girls' basketball team is in its 3rd season under head coach Tony Gerneck and has 8 returners. The returners include 5 seniors, 2 juniors, and a sophomore. The rest of the team includes freshmen and transfer students, bringing the total roster to 17. Returning senior Teresa Davis was the leading scorer for the Pioneers with a total of 18 points. She also had a high number of steals in the game, 5 in total. This brings up the Pioneers' defensive play in the game. The girls forced 34 turnovers throughout the game, and the offense was slow in the first half, but they picked up speed after the break. The Pioneers led by almost 30 points several times throughout the contest. The game concluded with a final score of 68-50. Looking forward, the Pioneers might need to improve on their foul shots, with shooting only 22% accuracy. The season will continue this Saturday at home against the Madonna Crusaders from Michigan, and then the team will travel to Slippery Rock on Monday for a scrimmage.
Now, Johnie, you look at the team. How big is it for this team to get the W with so many new players on this team? after they lose Johnie McFadder, their returning leading scorer.
You know, that's going to show a huge amount of confidence in all the new players. They haven't had much experience on the court, especially those freshmen with their first collegiate gameplay, and the win brings all the confidence in the world.
You mentioned all the confidence in the world. They come home and play their first home game this Saturday, Johnie. How big is it for that team to really play their first home game after coming home and winning one on the road?
Well, after winning one on the road, it almost seems like it'll be easier to win one at home. You know, it's familiar turf, and hopefully they'll be able to bring home another win.
Thanks, Johnie, for the analysis. After the break, Kelsey Metzger has her national sports report, and Phil Novatsik swings by to give us his men's basketball report. We'll be right back after this.